Welcome into Bills Postgame Live. The Buffalo Bills lay the hammer on the Pittsburgh Steelers with a final score of 38-3. Move on to 4-1 in the season. A really big game for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. We are presented by Wesley Clark and Postgame, your divorce and estate planning attorneys. Your family is our business. Now, Steve, from the beginning to the end of this one, from offense to defense, each facet of the game had some really great highlight plays to look back on it and hopefully carry forward through the rest of this season. A lot to take away from this game. What is the highlight in this one for you?
I think it's probably the spot in the first half where they had 3 consecutive scoring drives, 1-play drive, touchdown, 2-play drive, touchdown, 3-play drive, touchdown. That's a little bit historic. I mean, that's something that doesn't happen very often around the National Football League. It's something that the team can hang their hat on. Big play, they struck quickly. They overcame an opening kickoff that got dropped on the 2-yard line. Just couldn't, just a bad way to start the game, and they came out of it and overcame it. And unbelievable job by Josh Allen hitting Gabe Davis.
Yards.
Came out and absolutely just struck a bolt of lightning right out of the blue. Looked like they were going to have a hard time doing it. They struggled around. And then, of course, coming back on the spotlight with Gabe Davis, again with a one-handed grab and then wrenches it away from Minka. And that's just a dagger to a Steelers team coming out, scoring 4 touchdowns, Josh. And then there was a couple of times where, Josh missed another touchdown, and then we fumbled one going in. This was a beatdown, and it's rare that you see that against a Pittsburgh Steelers team. So we'll see if the Steelers will recover from this. I still think Kenny Pickett's a really good player, but the Bills were just too much for the Steelers today in every facet.
4 passing touchdowns by Josh Allen. He had 424 passing yards, which is a new team record in regulation for the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott, got to give shouts out to him because he now passes Marv Levy for a new club record with winning percentage at .616. Marv had .615. So a big day for Sean McDermott and all he has accomplished, too, as the Buffalo Bills head coach since he came in 2017. Josh Allen and Von Miller are on the podium answering some questions, so we'll send it right to them.
Yeah, I think one game plan, Dorsey and the offensive staff did a great job of scheming up those plays, trusting the players out there, and then to call them in certain situations, backed up to take a shot like that. It's not too often that you get a chance to do that early on in the game, and backed up. Obviously, the kick return, put us at the 2-yard line, put us behind the 8 ball a little bit there. But guys were resilient. We didn't blink,
nope.
And just trusted our guys, and they made some plays.
Could you take us through the 2-on-1 the game?
Yeah. Obviously, they on that first 3rd down, they doubled both of them. They both doubled Steph and Gabe. From what I saw the safety go this way. I saw 2 guys kind of sitting here playing the sticks a little bit, and Gabe just did his thing and ran and gave him a chance to go make a play, and he did. And then that second one, just felt the safety a little flat-footed. Knowing Gabe was running, and just gave him a chance to go catch a ball, and he kind of tipped it straight into the safety's stomach and then pulled it out. Like it was an unbelievable play by him. But I got so much trust and faith, in 13. So it was good to see him get going, and getting the ball early and often. And I wouldn't say often. I mean, he only had 3 catches, but for 170 and 2 touchdowns, which is pretty crazy. It's not too often like you have those type of drives. I mean, I think we had a 1-play drive, 2 2-play drives, and a 3-play drive, which ended in touchdowns, and that's crazy.
So Minka's over the top there. I mean, he's like, it's double coverage, but you saw that Minka was a little flat-footed.
Felt a little flat-footed, and again, I'm just trusting my guy more than anything, and he's coming off a little bit of a couple weeks of an ankle, and I just wanted him to know that, I trust him implicitly. I'm going to give him these opportunities, and when you continue to make them, it makes it that much easier to trust a guy.
Josh, I was going to follow up on that with you as far as him coming off the ankle. Did you have a sense going into this game that he was back to 100%, that he was going to maybe factor in like he did?
Yeah, and actually I think I saw it in our little walkthrough that we do on Saturdays, which was yesterday, obviously. Just the way that he was moving, bouncing around on it, and I was like, okay, this guy's ready to go, and he was.
Josh, you've had long touchdowns, but 98 yards is your longest, obviously. when he connects, like that's odd. You almost get to somewhat celebrate with your teammates before he's even made it to the end zone. Did you feel that way after you let it go?
I did, yeah. And I got kind of hit right when I threw it, so I didn't see him catch it. I just kind of heard the crowd go crazy and, got helped up and just saw him by himself, 90 plus yards down the field. Those ones are cool. It's going to be tough to beat.
You walk in at halftime, you had thrown for 324 yards. I mean, what does that feel like when did you feel like you were just dominating?
No, honestly, I felt like I missed a few throws, and I was a little ticked off for a couple of the passes I had early on in the game, and, just trying to, I'm going to complete every ball. Obviously, I know it's not typically possible, but there's some things that I could have done better early on in that game. But again, our defense played outstanding tonight.
The RPO game was dominant. And thoughts on that?
No, I mean, that's going to help us going forward, getting this run game involved. And that we did a good job. Our backs did a great job running the ball today and seeing James get going, get his first touchdown, getting Khalil his first touchdown in their NFL career. So that's a special moment for those guys, and I'm happy we got to be a part of it.
Well, the numbers tell a pretty impressive story, especially from halftime against Baltimore on. I guess talk about the way this defense is.
Our defense came in with a great mindset today. Everybody was ready to go. Offense started off. I was getting ready for the punt, and I walked to the other side of the field getting ready for the punt, and I'm looking up, and you see Gabe going 98 yards for the touchdown. And all I could just say, man, is it was unbelievable, man. So, we just all kind of followed Josh's lead, man. He's so laid back. Coach McDermott is a great leader. Coach Washington, Coach Frazier, man. We came into this game with a great mindset. Kenny, he played well, for his first start. They got him out the pocket, and he was extending plays and doing what he does. To hold him to 3 points, man. It was an incredible day for our defense.
Ron, you have your Brandon Bean shirt on there. How impressed are you with
You got to see the back too.
Yeah. This is the guy, man. And when you're down like starters when you're down so many starters, and you get your core guys to come in and play the way they played today, man, that shows you that being in the front office, they've put together a great team, man. And it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this, and I'm happy to be a Buffalo Bill for sure.
Run defense, Don. I know you guys had a tough challenge last week, but this is the third time you've held an opponent under 60 yards rushing. And what is it that you guys look angry out there when you're tackling? It's an angry tackle.
Coach McDermott, he challenged the offensive line and the defensive line coming into this game. He said it was going to be one up front. Jordan Phillips, he took that challenge personally, and our offensive line did too. And they came out and they blocked their asses off, and our defensive line, they played their ass off. And all 4 quarters, even when they put the twos in, they still didn't let the standard drop. And it was an incredible day for all the guys that stepped up there. It was a good win for the Buffalo Bills.
It was evident early in the game that they were picking on Shakir a little bit in passing.
There was. He got a pick.
What did it say when he comes back and gets that pick?
Khayr, he's put in so much work. Every single day, he does all the right things. I'm watching him. I'm in the training room. I spend most of my time in the training room when I'm done with work. He's in the training room with me. He's watching film. He's talking to Trey White. He's doing all the things that he could possibly do to have success. And when you see a young guy go out there and have success like he did today, man, it just shows you, success is it leaves clues, and he's been doing everything that he possibly can do to have success, man. It was great. I talk to him each and every week, like, man, this is your week, and it was good to see him have success.
Josh, Juan talked about the depth of this team on defense. What about the depth of this team on offense when you're missing 3 receivers and Dawson Knox to be able to put up numbers like that? What's it say about guys like Shakir and Cook?
Yeah, one, that's guys being ready, being true professional football players, knowing their assignments, going out and executing a game plan. The offensive staff, their prospective position coaches, making sure that those guys are ready. But, it was really cool getting to play with my former teammate in college, Tanner Gentry, him coming up and knowing his job. He got in there. Isaiah Hodgins just signed him from the practice squad. Guys that have been here for a while that have just kind of waited their turn and just continued to work. And to see them kind of get some of that burn and pay dividends for how hard that they've been working. But again, talk about a guy like Shakir who gets thrown into the starting lineup. We're going down 2 slot guys, and he goes in there and has a great day. I know the fumble happened, but again, I trust Quentin implicitly. The guy just continues to work hard. Him and Tommy, they stepped up in the run game, in the pass game, in the protection game. They did their job tonight, but again, it's like what Vaughn alluded to earlier, just trusting the guys that we've brought into this building in our front office, bringing in the right guys that care about football, care about each other, and when you have that, you're going to have success.
Is there maybe something seeing what Kansas City did to Tampa Bay that you want them to, maybe now knowing that being aware that you can look ahead to Kansas City? I mean, is this a message perhaps sent by the Bills team that you guys are for real going into the setup?
Yeah, no, it's 1-0 each week. That's our mindset. It's a week-to-week league. You know, it's hard to win this league. So we're going to celebrate this one tonight, have a good time, move on tomorrow, watch this film, and then we'll get on to Kansas City.
Josh, let's say about your ability in front to stay connected, concentrate in a game like this where it was going, let's face it, pretty easy through the first half, and then the whole way through, and obviously a hiccup here and there, but you don't let off the gas pedal. Is that internally, is it talked about? How did you guys keep that together?
That's all we talk about is mindset, not blinking. And you can't blink in a fight. Whether we're down by 17 points, don't blink. Let's build brick by brick to get back into the game. If we're up 21 points, let's not blink. Let's keep this lead and let's keep pushing. We like to go fast. We like to do what we do on defense. Josh does what he does on offense, and I feel like mindset really separates good teams from other good teams. And we came into this mindset with the killer instinct, attitude, the mindset of domination. We talk about domination. We watch Kobe, and we saw his mindset about domination and starting games off, and that's all we try to do. We just try to take it one play at a time and have that mindset of domination. Kobe.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Von Miller rocking that Brandon Beane shirt, and Brandon Beane definitely deserves some credit in this one, being able to deploy guys on offense and defense who don't play big snaps, who don't play in an entire game for 2 quarters, for even a quarter. This team is without Dawson Knox, Isaiah McKenzie, Jamison Crowder, Tremaine Edmonds, Jordan Poyer, and the list goes on, and they're still able to put up 38 points and just allow 3 points on defense against a team who, yes, is trying to figure out their identity, but Kenny Pickett had a good game as a quarterback today in his first NFL start. The Buffalo Bills, what they continue to do with the depth that they have over the last several years has been very impressive. Another impressive player has been Gabe Davis, and what he did today with his 2 touchdowns, catching some really big passes from Josh Allen. He is our Microsoft Surface Player Spotlight, which is presented to you by Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is the official tablet and sideline technology of the Buffalo Bills. And Steve, do you want to run through why this guy deserves a spotlight today?
Yeah, it started early. We saw a 3rd play of the game. Gabe Davis comes out, and he's going to go long. They got backed up, couldn't do anything on 1st or 2nd down. Josh Allen steps up into the pocket and just lays this out there. Davis goes and gets it, and like I said earlier, it's a lightning strike. And you see here as he comes off the ball, he goes right inside the corner, and the safety gets caught flat-footed, taking a bad angle, and it's open. Hard to believe, and with the injuries to this the Pittsburgh secondary, they just got caught flat-footed. And then later on, he comes up with another big play. This one, the same play really to the other side of the field, and he comes up and one-hands this and then bullies the ball away from Minkah Fitzpatrick, who is really an all-pro safety, caliber safety. And Gabe one-hands it in, Minkah gets an arm on it, they fight for it, and Gabe somehow gets the leverage and pulls it away in the end zone, and the Bills are off and running. Gabe Davis, the spotlight of the game. And he was not right for a couple of weeks, and you could tell. He dropped passes in the rainstorm in Baltimore last week. He didn't look like himself, wasn't a big part of the offense, but as soon as he comes back and is 100%, the difference was clear.
Yeah, he was dealing with that ankle injury for a couple games, was held out early in the season, so it's good to see him looking more and more like himself in practice this week. You could see it was like, okay, Gabe Davis is back. Now let's see what he can do in this game against a defense who was without some big players and had even more players come out of this game due to injury. So glad to see that Gabe Davis back in the fold. 3 catches 171 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Everybody who has him on your fantasy teams, I hope you played him today because he got mega points. And speaking of another wide receiver who was fun to see him get involved in the action, rookie wide receiver Khalil Shakir was on the podium answering some questions after this one, so we'll send it over to Khalil.
Felt good, really good. Beat myself up from that drop that I had. Tragic. I was feeling myself a little too much, trying to get out of there and rack. So I beat myself up pretty bad. So Josh still that trust in me and throw it up there and, go make a play on it. And I didn't even know what to do. A lot of guys have planned celebrations and things like that. I always told myself I was going to keep the first football that I scored. I was like, obviously I'd keep it. But for some reason I threw it. And then and Josh brought it to me and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, my bad, appreciate it. But it was a good feeling.
What did you do on that route? I mean, I asked Josh, the guys were open all day. That play you were wide open. What exactly happened on that route that got you so open?
I just had a shoot route across the field. They were in man coverage, so I noticed that and just took off. So nothing special, nothing too crazy.
Are you sure? Every week that you're going to play. Did it feel different at all this week, knowing that your role might be larger and maybe waiting on Isaiah and all that kind of thing? Did it feel any different coming up?
Not really, just because of the fact that, I'm around guys like him every single day, and they make every day as game-like as possible. So, those guys really prepared me for that moment, to be honest. So it was all on them.
You said you're the quietest guy in the receiver room. Can you be any louder this week?
No, I definitely won't ever change that. I'm just naturally quiet and chilled, laid back. So.
Steph, what was your vantage point for the third play, the 98-yard touchdown?
Oh, man, I'm watching it. I'm seeing the guy run. We had some opportunities the week before, so when the play was called, I was like this, oh, man, Gabe has a touchdown. And it ended up being one of the best touchdowns I've ever seen. I was like, this damn. But then I got to talk some dunk to him. I said, he's still slow. But it was amazing.
Yeah, I want to follow up on Von Miller talked about this just a minute ago, but the don't blink mentality. So you guys are up, you're in control, but there was like zero indication you were taking your collective foot off the gas. So are you partly responsible for spreading that mentality and mindset among this team?
Yeah, as far as like offensively, defensively, Vaughn does a great job keeping those guys going. Like that don't blink mentality, like we don't stop, good, bad, or indifferent. We just going to keep going. And like attributed to the offense, damn sure some carryover, especially with our guys. We've been trying to preach positive energy and pushing that into the universe. So when good things happen, we're happy. When bad things happen, we still like, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll make a way.
Steph, what does it say about this offense that you don't have Crowder, McKenzie, Knox, and you got 460-some yards passing? I think it was.
Yeah, it's like 3 of our starters, or like one of our main receivers are down right now. So it's just like putting it in perspective of we got young guys like this. I talked about it in training camp and somewhere in the beginning of the season that when it was their time to step up, I had trusted and faith in them that they were going to do so. So that next man up mentality is really showing. It's like I guess people say sayings and that kind of thing, but right now it's applying at a high level. We even got guys on defense banged up, and they're playing at a high level as well. So this team is going in the right direction. We're going to enjoy this win, and we just got to flip the page on the next one.
Steph, the last couple of games, the offense has moved, but it's been in chunks and longer drives. What do the big plays do? You had them the first couple of weeks, and now you got them back to that. What do they do for the entire time?
It's a different kind of. Well, to put it in perspective, every team is going to play you different. Some guys going to crawl up and play man. Some guys have confidence in their guys. Some guys want to play zone. Schematically, we've seen everything. We've seen the guys who crawl up, and we get a lot of big plays. And then we see the guys who play it. All right, we're going to play zone, make them move down the field one play at a time. Our punter punted once today. Was it once or twice? Twice. So that's more a tribute to Josh and, Coach Dorsey and how the game is going and, calling that stuff at the right time. That's what I'm really attributing it to, and just keeping things in perspective. Receivers getting open and catching the ball, running backs running, quarterbacks throwing.
Khalil, I probably don't have to tell you, it doesn't always look like it does in the playbook, but you had some high degree of difficulty catches. I mean, the 31-yarder, you got 3 guys around you. You got to wait on the touchdown catch and come back to it a little bit. Like, what's your adjustment to the ball philosophy?
I mean, I look at it as if Josh has enough trust to throw it up to me with, those many guys around me, then I got to do my part. So just threw it up, and honestly just found the ball, made a play. Like I said, I wasn't trying to do too much or too little. They just do my job. So.
How much did that one kind of set if you had any nerves? I know you're a pretty chill dude, so if you had any nerves, did just making that first one kind of settle you down a little bit? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had nerves going in. I mean, the crowd, the environment, but it's good. It's a good thing, you know. Just those vibes that I got going on. Then when I ran out the tunnel was just crazy and insane, and I had to settle down, breathe a little bit. But like I said, when you're around guys like Steph every single day, they make every day as game-like as possible. I know the environment's a little bit different, but they push that throughout the week. So.
What about your group entering the draft? I mean, you even get to pick on the defensive side. Like, is there some kind of kinship there where you guys are like, hey, we're going to get called on a little bit more, let's show out? Is there part of that kinship there with your group? Or?
I mean, it's just set every single day at practice. You know, we got amazing guys on both sides of the ball, amazing veterans. So when you go against guys, you know, when Kyer's going against him every day and Gabe every day, that sets the tone for him. Then I'm going to guys like Taryn and those guys and then Dane, and it's just like they get you ready for these moments.
All right, Khalil Shakir, Isaiah Hodgins, Quentin Morris combined for 10 catches and over 140 receiving yards. I don't know if you could have guessed that stat was going to happen in this one, just seeing, you know, that next man up mentality, who is going to be on the stat sheet for this team in terms of offense. And then on defense, I mean, just allowing 3 points. Going into this game, the Bills had allowed just 7 points in the second half so far this season. That stat stands because they did not allow any points in the second half of this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have yet to allow 1 point in the third quarter. They're the first team to do that since 2016. This defense continues to be a tough team to go against. It was great to see Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips get back into the fold after they had missed a couple of games. This team is still down some players on defense. Jordan Poyer, Tremaine Edmonds were no-goes this week, but great to see Tyrell Dodson step up in Tremaine Edmonds' place and have some good plays, be a really good run stuffer in a lot of different ways against a good running back in Najee Harris. I mean, they allow 54 rushing yards to the Pittsburgh Steelers today. This run defense has been really impressive to watch through the first 5 games of this season.
And they're getting some production from everybody on the roster. When they get in and get a chance to produce, this is the first time we got a chance to see James Cook come in later in this game and snap off a big, long touchdown run. That gives you something to think about if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and future opponents. Shakir, Hodgins.
Yeah.
Tanner Gentry was on the field for a bunch. Quentin Morris played well at tight end, and this was with, you know, in place of regular starters all over the roster. So I'll tell you this, though. The Bills' offensive line was intact, and their defensive line was intact, and the skill guys took advantage of the winning up front that the big guys did on both sides of the ball.
D-line, really important in every game, really important in this one. All right, Sean McDermott is on the podium. He's answering some questions. Let's send it over to Sean.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Good win. Glory to God for all his blessings, and proud of the guys, the way they were focused in on this week, taking it 1 week at a time, and then you know, we had a number of guys miss the game, and I thought the guys did a great job of just being resilient. The guys that were called upon to play were prepared and did a good job there. So good to play at home. Crowd was phenomenal again in 2 home games. Just a very unique environment around here. So I appreciate them. And with that, we'll turn it over to you.
John, can you speak to the, you mentioned the kind of stepping up, you were down a lot of players today.
Yeah.
The young kids, like Shakir, for instance, and a couple others. If you just speak to those guys being, like you said, kind of ready to go and contribute.
Yeah, you know, you don't take that for granted. I thought it takes 2. It takes the player and it takes the coach to get them ready to go. And whether it was Shakir, I'm going to leave some names out. Shakir, Isaiah Hodgins out there, Tanner Gentry, Q Morris out there making some plays. I thought the line did a good job. I know I'm jumping around here topic-wise, but the line did a good job helping us run the football. I thought that was we had better detail today in the run game, and but my hat goes off to the offensive line. I know that they've been working hard and got a lot of confidence in those guys. And defensively, you know, just good to stand up when we needed to stand up, and had the turnover. Had a chance to go up, I think, early, 10 points maybe or something like that, and defense had to come back out and force a 3-and-out. We did that. So a lot to learn from, some good things, obviously, and I guess I left out the defensive guys. Tyrell Dodson that stepped in there and did a good job and led our defense. On the secondary, with DeMar and Quan working together in tandem out there, that was good to see. So the communication, the preparation, real proud of those guys.
I asked Josh this, and I want to ask you too. Obviously, players are doing things to get open, but it felt like you guys just completely out-schemed them. Your receivers were running open. Everybody, it wasn't just one guy. Yeah. So explain, was that just most of great scheming this week, and just explain it?
No, I just think it's good detail. We harped on the detail during the week, and it paid off in the execution, and that's what you got to do, is you got to have the detail in order to execute, and I thought we executed at a high level when we needed to, which is good to see.
Sean, Josh talked about how, I think it was during the walkthrough, he said he kind of saw the way Gabe was moving, and he had a sense of the fact that he was back to close to 100% off that ankle. Did you have that sense, and did you figure he might factor into the game the way he did?
Well, I thought, the last 2 weeks, I know a lot's been talked about Gabe, and he's been pushing through. It's real easy not to push through, but he put the team first, even though he wasn't 100%. And then I just think his process this week in particular really showed, and he got himself exactly where he needed to be to have the game he did, and that's because of what he did during the week.
Opening drive, you're on the 2, third down. Can you maybe walk us through what was said in the headset, or when you know the play that's about to be called, you know what the potential result can be, you're backed up there. As that call is being made by Ken, what's going through your mind in regard to what this could potentially be right here? The home run play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he called for a touchdown is what he said. Run the touchdown play. Yeah. 98. Run the 98-yarder. Yeah, that one. No, I mean, just again, the level of execution was very high right there. There's a chance, because of what happened on the opening kickoff, that we're punting out of our own end zone into the wind, which is not ideal. So we needed a first down at least right there, and the O-line gave Josh time, and the connection between Josh and Gabe was the result that you saw. So, again, the execution was a key factor there.
Sean, you talk about the young guys being ready, coaches getting them ready, but having their veteran teammates believe that young guy is going to be ready. Because we hear Vaughn talk about it, Josh going to Shakir when he's open. What does that mean when you know the vets are buying in that the young guys are going to be ready to go?
Yeah, they help in that. That's for sure. And just really not flinching when things don't go our way with the injuries in this case or anything for that matter. And I think, again, coming out the second half, the way the guys did, again, just not flinching in that regard either, right? When things are going well and we're up like we were, to have the leadership and the wherewithal and the poise to go back out there and play it one play at a time.
Sean, you touched on Khalil already, but for him to prepare for multiple roles in the offense and also for returns, just how hard is that for him to get ready for a game with that, and how did he hold up and all that?
Yeah, again, very poised young man, very mature for a rookie in particular. So I think it really goes back to his process, the way he prepares, the way he's humble. And Josh does a great job, too, of just leading that offense, whether it be, starting with walkthroughs, meetings, and getting them in the right mindset, the right frame of mind, Steph as well, and Mitch up front, to execute. And that's what it really takes is that week process, that day-to-day focus in order to get the result that we had today.
To kind of pick up on that, Sean, I mean, Vaughn was emphatic about this, but kind of listening to your response here, the poise to kind of keep the foot on the gas in a game that you're well in control of. Mm-hmm. Vaughn said, well, whether you're down 17 points in Baltimore or you're in the position you're in today, he called it don't blink. And I guess, do you view it that way, that mindset that your team has, and to what degree do you find that player-driven versus a message that you have?
Oh, 100% player-driven. Yeah, 100% player-driven. It's got to start with the leaders in the locker room and Vaughn and the names I've mentioned, Josh, our captain group, and many more do a really good job of leading that. So I think that's a good thread in our DNA.
It seemed like they maybe were targeting Shakir a little bit early. How is that some of the rookie growing pains that he's just going to have to get through, and then what can he take away from that interception that he got there at the end of the first half?
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can take away from this game. It wasn't all positive. So We'll continue to work. Khair will continue to work, and we got to make sure we're putting players in position to be successful, and I think we are at times. But there's times we can do a better job too, and Khair will continue to learn. There's things we'll go back and watch. I know the guys in that locker room, the coaches as well, feel like, hey, there's some more left on the table that we got to go back to work and make the adjustments that we need to make, Jay, more than anything. And I think same with Khair in this case.
With run defense, I know you always like it when the defense is a little bit nasty too. They look like angry tacklers today in the run D in particular. What's your assessment of? It's a top 3 run defense coming in today, and they hold it to 43 yards.
Yeah. I mean, it's a team effort, right? And Leslie did a good job. All the defensive staff, getting them through practice, giving them the looks they needed to see, the looks we were anticipating, and then adjusting through the game too, because they made some hay early, I think on the first drive, and then I thought the press box communication down to the field was phenomenal, on both sides of the ball. So that's important, and the players executed. I mean, you got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage, and I thought we did a good job of that, and it took some pressure off of us in other areas.
Sean, to follow up a little bit on what Jay was asking about with Khair, just talking to him in the locker room, you had no idea that you guys won by 35 and he had his first career interception because he just said, I'm way better than what I showed today.
Yeah.
What have you seen from his makeup, that side of things?
Yeah, well, it's important to him, and he takes it to heart, which is all a good thing. I think part of his learning will be just trying to unplug a little bit once in a while and enjoy a win like this because it's hard to win. But I really appreciate how much pride he takes in doing his job and doing his job right and at a high level. We'll just continue to work with him, and we'll grow, and he'll grow, and we'll just keep taking it 1 week at a time here.
Going back to your effort defending against the run, you had Ed Oliver and Phillips return today. How much did they factor into that effort, and what did you see from them? How did they come out of the game? You saw Jordan go down with an injury briefly.
Yeah, I don't know the extent of that injury right now. I'll find out a little bit more here in a few minutes when I'm done here. And again, just good to have those guys back out there. We've missed them for, I think, Ed since the first game and Jordan the last couple of weeks here. But really appreciate the way players have stepped in. And then the added load that was on Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, really appreciate the way those guys have stepped up.
We had asked about James Cook for a few weeks, just in getting him more involved and navigating some of this early season games. So what did it mean for him to get that touchdown today? What did you see on that play?
Yeah, I think it was a good read by him, good cut. The O-line did a good job, and he looked like he had some blocking down the field. So those plays happen not just because of one person, but because of the overall effort in that case on the offense. But habits carry over, right, from the way you practice to the game. Usually, that's what happens in this league. It's very, very seldomly is it when you that they don't carry over one way or the other. So proud of the way he practiced, proud of the way he prepared.
How about his celebration? Not the most boisterous personality, but
I didn't even. What was it?
Into the stands.
Did he?
Embrace the fans there.
Yeah, I mean that's great, right? I mean, here's a young man that played at Georgia, not really from around here, but he's adjusting and to know enough to give Bills Mafia what they so deserve, and I think that's pretty cool to watch a young man have the wherewithal after his first touchdown and the awareness to celebrate with the fans. So that's special.
I think that might have been maybe a little bit of relief. Some struggles in the early going for him and breaking through like that in this game?
It's a feel-good moment for sure, right? You pray for that for these guys, and especially young players like that, and it is an adjustment to the NFL, and he's in the process of making that, and you got to go right back to the drawing board here come Monday. So.
John, 4 or 5 games you've pitched shutouts defensively in the second half, just 7 points allowed all season in the second half. What has been going so right defensively after halftime for you guys?
I just think, again, going back to the communication the coaches have and from the booth to the sideline, and then the communication at halftime to the players and the adjustments that they're making. As I mentioned, I think even going back to preseason, Jay, that's important for us. And then the execution.
Is this a good learning lesson for the younger players to play in weather conditions like this, knowing that we're getting to November and December?
Oh, yeah. As you guys know, very rarely is it is the wind a 5 mile per hour wind here. We had a dry day, which is we could check that box, but the win was the way it was. So I think it's learning for all new players on our team. Sam, as a punter, T-Bass and Reed have been around it a few years, but you know, I thought there were some good moments there and some moments that we have to learn from because we'll be playing in it again. All right, thanks, guys.
Today's game sponsor is Great Lakes Cancer Care Collaborative. Together, we're bigger than cancer. Another thing to note in this one, and Sean McDermott pointed it out, is the offensive line help that they got today. The running backs all averaged over 7 yards a carry, something that we have yet to see this season. They're going to need that the running backs. They're going to need the offensive line as we push into the season. A big game against the Kansas City Chiefs coming up next week. They're going to need the passing offense and the rushing offense to help this team score against a really good team in the Chiefs. James Cook gets his first touchdown as a rookie Buffalo Bill. Also, the first rushing touchdown out of a running back this season. took until the 5th game of the season to see a running back score on the ground. Hopefully, we have a lot more.
The Bills average 10.2 yards per offensive play. 10.2 yards per offensive play. The offensive line did a great job. The running backs are a testament to that. 120 net yards rushing, 400 yards passing for Josh. You know, you figured if this game was going to go the Steelers' way today, it was probably going to be due to the turnovers or something quirky happening. You thought they might get off to that start. Special teams didn't do them any favors. 2 bad kick decisions gave them the ball on the 2-yard line. The Bills overcame it both times. So this is a team that's showing right now at this point of the season, Maddie, even when they're injured, they can beat you a multitude of ways. With their defense shutting people out in the second half, and, of course, their offense hanging points on people, even with some young guys at the skill position. So it's looking pretty good for Buffalo right now, and it'll look even better if they can get a little bit healthier.
Yeah, a very convincing win, and I think it's also important to point out, you put 38 points yet, but yet Sean McDermott says, you know what, we can go back to the tape and we can learn from this game. There were some points in this game on offense and defense where things could have gone better this team, but the fact that they put 38 points up, allowed 3 points, says a lot about their ability to get into the end zone and to stop teams from scoring against them. So
very nice.
Great to see out of this team in week 5 of the season. Big game coming up for the Buffalo Bills. We're going to close things out here, but if you want more post-game sound, if you want some more highlights, a little bit more analysis, make sure you head to MSG at 11:30. Steve Tasker and I will be breaking it down there. One Bills Live, 12 to 3 tomorrow. You know where to go for all your post-game content after a big win. We will see you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.